should actually make stock motion video. They're properly told narratives.
What do you mean?
I think that's the name of the channel. What do you mean with an exclamation point and a question mark?
The next question, which is, what do you mean?
You will learn something new in this channel.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. Will the Prime Minister inform the House about how the Morrison government is on the side of Australians who want to get off welfare and into work and create stronger communities?
The Prime Minister has the call.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank the member for his question, because he knows that if you want to get people off welfare into work, you've got to make sure your welfare system is supporting people to get onto work. And our government has seen that in 4 years, 230,000 people are now no longer dependent on income supports welfare payments from the government. And I'll tell you why. It's because they've got jobs. In the last 12 months, to the end of June, 296,000 Australians got a job, and over 80% of those were full-time jobs. Mr. Speaker, we have the lowest level of welfare dependency of the working age population in more than 30 years, Mr. Speaker. That's what we're seeing under this government. We're seeing people get off welfare and to get into work.
I'm so sorry about that, everyone. I didn't speed up this chud talking this time because I thought we should take in every word he has to say. Now, come on, Scotty. Look at this. Just shave it. This looks ridiculous. Oh, well, actually, true. I have dubbed you Shit Hat Morrison, so we'll just give you a little shit hat and boom, problem solved. Alright, during this video I'm going to have a look at two ministers talking in a question time from the 31st of July 2019 and pair it with some real life research which was unavoidable because it just came about in my day-to-day. So, let's carry on.
And that is the best form of support any Australian government can provide to the Australian people. But you've also got
Shit Hat Morrison, do you know how words work? Because if you're saying the best kind of welfare is a job, then doesn't that make it not welfare? Words don't even have meaning anymore. Yeah, tell us what the government's got to do. But yeah, now tell us with your little shit hat on. Tell us, keep your hat on, go on, keep your little shit hat on.
To make sure your welfare system does the right thing by those who are receiving it in the communities in which they live. And that's why we have put in place the cashless debit card.
Oh, good. It's like when your nan starts to suspect you're smoking weed, so they don't give you money for your birthday or Christmas anymore, so they have to get you gift cards. But joke's on you, Nan. There are plenty of weed dealers out there that will trade you a bag of bud for a EB Games gift card. So, Nah, but seriously, even though I'm at the point where why do you need to work? You shouldn't have a job such a big part of forming who you are and your identity, especially if majority of people are made to work 9 to 5 doing shit they hate and usually isn't shit that's any sort of important or necessary, so somebody else can get rich off of their back, But we'll table that and we'll play into the whole you need a job. So yeah, with that said, for this video, we'll just pretend I'm at the, yeah, they do need a job. Oh, and this is a great place to then kick off with what he has to say again.
Because we went to those communities and we said we want to partner with you in terms of how we deliver welfare support into your communities. And it wasn't just in Indigenous communities, it was in all communities, Mr. Speaker, where there was disadvantage, and there were communities who wanted to get people off welfare and into work and get the right supports. And the independent evaluation released on these cases found a 41% of participations drinking less frequently, 48% of participations using drugs less frequency, 48% of those who gambled before the trial competing now doing it less often. Mr. Speaker, we're on the side of communities that want to change their communities for the better and not have a welfare system that holds them back, but a welfare system that lifts them up, strengthens their communities and enables them to get more and more of their people into jobs. Because under this government, we're creating jobs, and under this government, we're running a welfare
state for corporations. Ha! See, I knew where it was going with that. Nah, but Far out, he talks a lot of shit. And everything is about money. It's never about the well-being of people. Like, ever. And, alright, Mr. Shithat Morrison, question. If...
best form of welfare is a job, Mr. Speaker.
Then why the fuck is this happening to people?
Yeah, so Centrelink is saying that I owe them $4,000 from 2011. They're saying I was working up to July 2011, when I actually stopped working in September 2010, and I've already proved that by giving them a separation certificate, proving that I wasn't working when they said I was, but they're still taking $100 out of each pay. And then I started working, so I wasn't getting $100 taken out of each pay, and the debt started accruing interest. So it had gone down to $3,200, but because I was not paying the debt back and it was accruing interest, it went back up to $3,600. Still puts you on a downer for the day.
Thank you. Yeah. So, well done. Congratulations. You got that job we've been talking about. Now, we're going to fuck you over with a robo-debt that's going to come out of your payments that you don't receive anymore and then charge you interest on it as well. What? Okay. Alright. Now we'll go on to some ministers that actually ask a question directly about robo-debt and then their answer, and I'll play the whole thing through and I'll see you at the other end.
My question is to the Minister for Government Services. On Monday night, when speaking on ABC television about the robo-debt program, the Minister said, and I quote, "The department won't be going back after 7 years in terms of recovering that." Why did the Minister say that when he knew at the time it was untrue?
The Minister for Government Services has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Let me thank the member for her question. The government is moving forward on collecting or seeking income compliance debts from 2013-2014. There are still existing debts where customers have been sought to respond to from prior to that year. But when it comes to the issue of income compliance, Mr Speaker, it's important to understand where this all began. If I refer to Rick Morton's article in January 6, 2017 in The Australian, he writes, "Labor's leadership team of Bill Shorten and Tanya Plibersek pioneered the robo-debt data matching scheme." Pioneered, it turns out the member for Sydney and the member for Maribyrnong are the virtual godparents of robo-debt. Now, where would Rick Morton have got that from? He
Members
got
on
that
both
from
sides.
Rick Morton got that from a media release dated the 29th of June 2011, a joint media release issued by the member for Sydney and the member for Maribyrnong. The media release says new data matching to recover millions in welfare dollars.
The Minister will just resume his seat for a second. It's okay. The member for Barton, on a point of order.
Yes, relevance, Mr Speaker. The question is absolutely about
members on my right.
Why you misled the public on the 7:30
The member for
report on
Barton
Monday night.
will resume his seat. I'm listening to the Minister. He's at this point relating his material to the question that's been asked. I'm listening very closely. Minister
It says a
has the
new
call.
data matching initiative between Centrelink and the Australian Tax Office is expected to claw back millions of dollars from welfare recipients who have debts with the Australian government. The Minister for Human Services, Tanya Plibersek, and the Assistant Treasurer, Bill Shorten, today said the new initiative will enhance Centrelink's debt recovery ability and is expected to recover $71 million over 4 years. Beginning on July the 1st this year, Centrelink and the ATO will automatically match data on a daily basis as a way of cross-checking former welfare recipients who have a debt with the Commonwealth. But if people fail to come to an arrangement to settle their debts, the government has a responsibility to taxpayers to recover that money. Well, can I say to the former leader and deputy leader, we agree. We absolutely agree. Can I say
Members
to the
on my
godfather and the godmother of income compliance from 2011 from the media release, and I'll table it just for the efficacy and good memories of the Leader of the Opposition and the Deputy Leader. Income compliance data matching on a daily basis was started by those opposite, and now they seek to stop it in some faux degree of indignation that the income compliance love child of the godparents isn't what they hoped it to be. Well, we've got news for the opposition. What they began, we will continue to move forward in the interests of the Australian taxpayer.
Well done. You certainly showed her. Now, let's just quickly recap. Question, why did you lie? Why did you lie on national television? Answer, oh, well, you see, you guys came up with this robo-debt thing in the first place. Ha, in your face. Yeah, because we're all adults here, aren't we? Alright, and because you know that they know they're being filmed and this is being broadcasted and posted on the internet, so they must think they're doing a wicked job. See, that's why I try to make videos out of these. And with that said, I don't care who came up with this robo-debt scheme, regardless of who came up with it. Just a thought, why are you coming up with something to make sure us common people, or even like the people that need a helping hand out in society, making sure we don't do the dodgy? Why didn't anything be put in place to make sure you guys don't do the dodgy? I think a couple of $100 from Centrelink isn't as big a stakes as, I don't know, $80 million off to the Cayman Islands, you know? But we won't go there. But just saying. Yeah, I'll show you what I found from some average Australians, right? People off of Facebook that couldn't give a dick about politics, but they're usually the ones at the front line of who's going to get fucked over. So we have a friend of my cousin's explaining that 2 years ago they got told to pay back $2,000 because of something to do with tax I can only begin to imagine. And my cousin goes on to say that my auntie put in pay slips for 3 years while she was working. Apparently they overpaid her and they made her pay it all back. And then after 3 years she started working again and the same thing happened. They fucked up twice because they overpaid her. And then here's the kicker. When my cousin had her first kid, they cut her off twice because apparently her kid left the country and she doesn't even have a passport. Like, she's just starting high school now. And yeah, then her friend goes on to explain that it happens multiple times to people and asks further questions about her daughter leaving the country. And my cousin goes on to explain that they just sent her a letter saying her payments are going to be cut off because her kid's leaving the country. But apparently there's a girl born on the same day with the same name. The only difference is there's a middle name, while my cousin's daughter doesn't have a middle name. So they even went as far as saying that she had to go and get her daughter a passport to prevent this from happening again. Like, what do you mean? What are the chances? Same birthday, same name. Really, what are the chances? And just quickly, before I go, when you read between the lines here, something that may not be too obvious to people on the face of it, but why the fuck do we have people working and still needing government benefit? Why can't people survive on just a wage? Because trust me, I know my auntie and my cousins. I know their houses. I know like that they're just getting by. It seems to be like if you have a job and you're getting Centrelink, in some way you're rorting Centrelink. But if you have a job and you need Centrelink, there's a bigger problem at hand. But yeah, good thing they treat questions in Parliament like it's freaking a wrestling match and it's all for show and they're just trying to show off, because as I make clips and as people show them to more and more people that expose how corrupt and ridiculous and just in it for themselves these politicians are, and the more educated and engaged everyday people get with politics, we can fix this, guys. Like, with the internet as my weapon, I will take these shit hats down. Because, well, like, yeah, obviously now it always has been in so many different ways. Fucking personal.